Well, so as we think about referrals and networking, I remember early on, I had coffee with this guy, Nick Erber, who owned a counseling practice. And I had noticed that our websites it was like Psychology Today, Mental Wellness Counseling, and then Nick's website. And sometimes Nick would outrank me for certain terms. And sometimes Psychology Today, we could both outrank. And it was like those three websites were constantly going up and down in regards to the rankings in Traverse City around certain keywords. And I met Nick at a LPCs of Northern Michigan networking meeting. We hit it off. He's a great guy. We actually went to ACA together, and he's went more the education PhD route, and I went more the clinical private practice route. But when he had his private practice, we went out for coffee, and he told me about Psychology Today, and I had never really thought about this. Was circa 2010 probably, and he said, I get probably a referral a week from Psychology Today. There's just not many people that are out there, and they're doing so much to rank in Google. It's totally worth the $29 a month or whatever it was at the time. And so I signed up, and in my first week, I got three new referrals. I was just like, Nick, thank you so much for that referral and idea for growing my practice. And, that's really to me the spirit of collaboration that makes people successful with networking compared to those that aren't successful. Those that go into it saying, you know what, there's plenty of work to go around. There are plenty of clients. There are so many people that need to get paired. And sometimes there's going to be people that they're just not a good fit for me, but they might be a great fit for you. That's the spirit of networking that I think really gets you farther. So if we just start with having an openness, an abundance mentality, a way of thinking. There's not limited work here. When we think about it, you know, is everyone that needs counseling getting counseling? No. And so, if anything, there's an education thing of if we educate people on how awesome counseling is, we're gonna have a lot more clients. And so, the more that we can be connected, the better. So, um, let's just start with networking is just having conversations. So you're doing what you already do all the time when you're networking. When you're actually just having conversations with people, learning about what they do, understanding who they are as people outside of just the counseling world, you're just creating connections with people, and you happen to also have some overlap where you might want to refer to each other. So you already have the skills to do this. Even if you're like, I'm an introvert, I don't want to be out there, I don't want to be passing my business cards. Okay. Yeah, the image of you walking into a young professionals meeting and being like, I'm Joe and I'm going to help you with counseling. And like, that doesn't work anyway. So if you feel like that feels icky, good. It is icky. Nobody likes that person that's always like passing out their business card. I went to this one training once. It was so ridiculous. It was this young professionals training, and there's all these people that were more experienced in business that were training. And I went to this networking meeting, and I thought it was just going to be networking, and it mostly was. But this guy said, "Okay, this is what I want you to do when you're giving your business card to these people. Say what you do first, then say your name." So it was like therapist helping at-risk kids, Joe Sanok. Was like, what? How weird does that sound? So we're all doing this and we're all looking at each other like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. So there's this old school way of thinking where it's just transactional. And that's just, if that feels icky, good. That is icky. And so really, we're having conversations. We're connecting with people. That's it. That's all networking is. We're just finding the right people to connect with. So first, let's think about people that are in your niche already. So when I had my counseling practice before I sold it, one of my big niches was angry kids. So mostly teen boys, probably ages 12 to 19. It was usually the mom that would call. And so, yes, I was marketing to teen boys, but mostly I was marketing to moms that were frustrated with their teen boys. So who do I network with? I network with other people that help teen boys because they might get full and say, I need to refer out. I don't have any spots for your angry son. Who do I want them to think of as having openings? Me. Then we want to think about who's linked to your ideal client. Maybe therapists that help teen girls, that help with eating issues or anger issues or ADHD or anxiety or whatever. Teen girls often have siblings that are teen boys or close to teen boys. It may be working with some marriage therapists that are frustrated, and then part of that frustration with their kids is that, the marriage isn't going great because I'm so sick of our son just losing his mind every day over video games. And that marriage counselor is not going to see that son and they may not have many people to refer to. So thinking about who are the people that are doing the actual niche of you, because they might get full and need to refer out. Who are the people that are linked to these folks? And that could be, actual clinicians. I'd start there, but then also thinking about ancillary folks. If you don't take insurance, you're going to want to focus on other folks that don't take insurance. So if you go to a bunch of doctors' offices, they're going to say, well, all our people have insurance and want to use insurance. So if you're private pay, that's probably not going to be the best referral source compared to what types of services are people paying for. So gyms, yoga studios, Reiki, massage, naturopathic medicine. Those are all out of pocket expenses. They're connected to people that are connected to those that can pay. And so even just thinking through that and saying, hey, I want to learn more about Reiki and potentially referring to you. Could I swing by with some kombuchas and learn more about your office? So let's walk through what that actually even looks like when you're reaching out to people. So I would start with actually an Excel spreadsheet so that you can stay organized as to who you've reached out with, when you reached out to them, and then how that conversation went, so that you can stay really organized and not lose track of people. So first, start with a general introduction email. This is not 3 paragraphs of introduction. This is, hi, Janet. My name is Joe Sanok. I opened a counseling practice in town where I help angry teen boys and their families, period. I see that you have a massage therapy practice that is aimed at, families and women in transition. I think that a lot of these families may be interested in massage that I work with and would love to swing by your office and meet you and hear more about your business. Would you be up for me swinging by sometime? I'll bring us coffees or kombucha. Hope you have a great day. Joe, here's my cell phone if it's easier to connect via text. So it's super simple, super basic. And we want to look at the numbers. So maybe you send 20 of these emails in a day, then figuring out, well, how many people respond to this. So maybe you get 5 responses for every 20 emails. And of those 5 responses, you go meet with, say, 3 of them. And of those 3, you get one solid referral source. Now you know that you need to send 20 emails to get 5 responses, to get 3 meetings, to get one solid referral source. Now, at each level, we can improve your outcomes by saying, okay, if we do 20, is there something that we can do to get more than 5 responses? Maybe we do a follow-up email to the 15 people that didn't respond. Say, hey, just wanted to check in on you. So now instead of 5, maybe we have 10 responses. Of those 10, now how do we get more than just 3 out of 5 to have a meeting? So instead of having 6 out of 10, say, would you rather meet out somewhere, or swing by your office, or come by my office? So then maybe we improve that. We got 7 meetings, and then of those 7, how do we foster that connection to get more than 1 or 2 referrals? Maybe we want to try to shoot for half of them being solid referrals. So at each level, we can improve our outcomes to get more referral sources from the numbers. Because sometimes people personalize it and say, oh, I sent all these emails and they all ignored me and they must think that I'm a terrible therapist. And no, they're just busy. They're just bad at email. They're just bad at logistics. They aren't prioritizing you as something that's going to help them. So the more you can position yourself as someone that wants to see them succeed, the more likely they are to respond. All right. So when you're in the actual meetings, get to know the people. Ask them how they start their practice. Why are you into integrative medicine? How'd you get into massage? How long have you been in the area? Just like if it was a first date or you were meeting someone at a potluck, have a regular conversation with them, and they're naturally going to ask you some of those same questions. So then afterwards, you want to do some sort of follow up, like an email. Hey, it was great meeting yesterday for coffee. Really enjoyed our conversation. From our conversation, I had said this book. Here's a link to that book. So if there's any follow up items, and then if they want extra, say, marketing materials, if they want, rack cards, business cards, make sure you mail those or drop those off quickly afterwards. And then I would follow up about a month later and just say, hey, just wanted to check in, see how your massage therapy practice is going. Had a great time having coffee a month ago. I sent a couple people your way. Hope everything's going great. So then I would put in your calendar probably quarterly or every 6 months to just have a marketing and networking day that you send follow-up emails, follow-up text messages. Hey, just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. Hope you're doing awesome. That can then create that ongoing long-term relationship. And that's really what you're looking for. That's what a referral actually is a long-term relationship, saying, I trust this person. you can do it. Like, honestly, you can do it. You have these skills inside of you. These skills, they don't take much. You know how to have conversations with people and do an intake where you go from just meeting someone to them pouring out their deepest, darkest secrets. Yes, that's a counseling relationship, but you have these skills inside of you. I know a lot of people freak out over networking, but it's really not that big of a deal. And especially if you just view it as conversations, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, just view it as a conversation with people, learning about them, not that you're pushing your business, and it will naturally unfold for you as well.